Hey, it's Ethan here at etrailer. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Hollywood Rack's Destination 2-bike Hitch Bike Rack and how it fits on our 2018 Ford Escape. It's going to be a platform-style bike rack capable of supporting 2 bikes up to 35 pounds each, and it's going to be holding on to our bike primarily by these rotated padded clamps that go up and down our center mast. They do swivel and they are padded. But we still don't recommend using bikes like carbon frame bikes because it could potentially damage the frame, as that's where our main point of contact is. And it's also going to hold on with 2 straps, one on the back and one on the front wheel. There's not a whole lot of frills to this bike rack, and one that is not included is the ability for the rack to tilt away with the bikes loaded up. So the first thing we're actually going to have to do is get our bike removed. To do that, we'll start with the back strap. Just press that gray button. Pull the strap through, and we'll move to the front, do the same thing. You can see there is that rubber pad to protect your tire. So we'll just press that gray button again, pull that strap through here as well, and then we'll come out to the frame. Unfortunately, just the way our bike is, we had to go through the cup holder, so it could be a little bit weird to get the strap out, but we'll just go slow, make sure we're holding on to the frame of our bike some way, so that once we start moving, we're not going to lose our bike. And just about out there, I'm going to wrap my arm around here, get that last little bit through, and now I can get the bike up and off. So you definitely kind of saw there with that process that if you have something on the larger end of what the bike capacity is that this rack can handle, you could definitely run into a little bit of an issue getting them on and off. But with that removed, we can start replacing some of these straps and get that center mass folded down. So before I do this one, actually, I'm going to get this center mass folded down because we can actually end up using that cradle strap to keep this in place. So I'll start by loosening up this knob here, get this plate out of the way, and then we can fold this down. And you can use either this cradle strap or the strap on the mast strap or the cradle strap to keep it down. I'll use the cradle strap. These cradles do have the ability to hold a tire width of up to 3 inches, and just how the rack is designed can hold a maximum wheelbase of 48 inches. I'll put this last strap back in, and now I can get a measurement and see what it's like to add this onto the back of the vehicle. So from the bumper to the furthest point back, we're going to be adding on almost exactly 24 inches or 2 feet. So it's really small, doesn't add that much length onto the back of your car. Again, because of how it angles down, I'm going to get the ground clearance from this point here in the front. And that's going to be just under 16 inches. It's got a nice rise in it, even with that angle down. The Escape sits tall enough that I'm not going to be worried about anything as far as going up hills or over curbs and bottoming out. If we want to, now would be the opportunity for us to open the trunk. You can see that we get tons of room, but this is the only position where we're going to be able to get in the back. When it's folded up, it sits too close, and with the bikes loaded up, it doesn't tilt away. But we do have enough room back here now. If I want to, I can sit and change my shoes or get anything I need for the ride from this point. We'll close that up, and then we'll get the rack folded up towards our vehicle to cut down on some of that space. To do that, we'll just loosen up this hand knob here on the side. Just unthread that until it comes all the way out. It's got a cable on it, so it'll hang there without us touching it. Fold the rack up. Find where those holes align on the shank and put that back in place. From here, we can get that new measurement to see how much space we saved. Now from the bumper to the furthest point out, it's going to be closer to 11 inches, so we cut our overall distance pretty much in half. It sits a little bit close here, but you could definitely get this a little further down if you spent more time getting those cradles out of the way. So from this closest point, you're still going to have about 2 inches of space. There's going to be a little bit of up and down movement. It's kind of standard with 1 1/4 racks, but it's not going to hit the car or come very close. It is super compact, and it's not really going to interfere with anything on the back of our car. Our license plate is pretty much fully visible. Our backup camera is right here in the middle. You might be able to see the rack out of the very bottom of that, but nothing where it's going to interfere, and it doesn't come anywhere near our taillights or our rear window. If we come down to the shank, we can take a closer look there. This does have an 1.25 inch shank that fits into our 2-inch receiver tube with this sleeve here. It's held in place by a 3/4 inch anti-rattle bolt, as well as the lock on the other side. So if you want to use this with a car with a 2-inch hitch or an 1.25 inch hitch, you can use it with both, which is nice. So yeah, like I mentioned, there's not a whole lot to this rack. It's pretty straightforward. It's a great entry-level way to get 2 bikes up to 35 pounds where you need them to go. Not a ton to it, but this was just a quick look at the Hollywood Rack's Destination 2 and how it fits on a 2018 Ford Escape.